I have met my girlfriend's parents once before and we went out to eat. I covered the tip when the bill arrived because I have a thing about not letting people buy me food, as I was taught growing up that it was rude. I am seeing them for a second time next week, and we are going to Golden Corral for dinner on the first night. I realized that people don't generally tip at buffets. Do I let the parents pay for me, or do I try to pay for myself, or do I try to pay for me and my girlfriend? Any help would be awesome, and I do realize that I'm overthinking this. Edit. Hello, I have never been to a buffet before, so I assumed that you just kind of did everything yourself. I now know that I should tip. Thank you for the advice. Story 1. Parents often want to do something nice for their kids and their kids' significant others. The proper etiquette is to let them. Maybe you can suggest treating them the next time they are in town. Or maybe you bring them a bottle of wine or something the next time you visit them. But if they want to buy you dinner, let them buy you dinner and thank them. Story 2. How old are you? That can make a difference. I have kids in their very late teens at the moment, and my daughter has a 21-year-old boyfriend. If I go out to dinner with them, I'm paying. If the boyfriend wants to tip, that's fine, but if he doesn't, I wouldn't think anything negative. I'm old and have money. They're young and relatively poor, so I pay. Now, if you are older and established, that might change the dynamic, but frankly, even then I'm still probably planning to pay. Particularly if I or my daughter invited you. Story 3. I've had a girlfriend's father get offended that I paid for my own bill before. Now, I will offer to pay and maybe insist once, but if they are firm on paying, I let them. I'll probably say, thanks, next one is on me. It's a good excuse to ask them out for a drink and get in their good graces anyway. Story 4. I've taken my older daughter out, she is 22, with a boyfriend she was dating on 3 separate occasions, so 3 separate guys. The kid I was impressed with the most was the one who at least offered to pay. I went ahead and paid, obviously, as I invited them, but the gesture meant a lot, and I had a ton of respect for the kid. They were both in high school at the time, so I'm sure the kid didn't have much money. So, I would at least offer, if you're able, at least for your portion of the bill. Story 5. This became a fun game between me and my father-in-law. So I invited all of them out to an expensive Italian restaurant for my stepmom's birthday. My father-in-law got there before us and he gave his card to the server. We had no clue, so when I inquired about the bill, they told me it was paid. I was kind of shocked because it was for one of my family members. So next time we were all out together at this Mexican place, I pretended to go to the bathroom and gave my card to our server and said, "Do not under any circumstances use any other card besides this one." So they went to pay the bill to find out I paid, and we laughed at this little game. Story 6. I am exactly the same. I hate other people paying for me. It's like I owe them a debt. However, I have also learned that other people tend to earn more than I do, so sometimes it is quite nice to let them pay. That being said, though, in your current situation, take your wallet, and if you can afford to pay for the meal next week, then try to speak up and pay for the meal. Even if you get refused, it will put you in a very good light with your girlfriend's parents just by offering. Don't try to split the bill between you, your girlfriend, and her parents, as that could be seen as rude and stepping on toes. Pay your way, either the full meal or nothing. Another option could be to cover the drinks tab, as it is a buffet. Story 7. If they are taking you out, let them make the first move. Always be prepared to pay, but most of the time, if I've been invited out, they pay without hesitation. Story 8. In my opinion, this is a complicated game. It's complicated because you're mixing a bunch of different power dynamics, personalities, and maybe economic statuses into one dinner table. You can come off like a complete fool trying to pay for Golden Corral in one way and come off like a hero doing it in another. Just remember, the point of the game is not to pay for the meal, but to increase your trust, status, and comfort with the girl's parents. Complicated games can have simple strategies, though, especially when you're going out to a buffet with your girlfriend's family. Sit down, make pleasant conversation, and let her parents pick up the tab. If there is a moment when the check comes, you can try to put a bill or card down, but don't force it. The most important thing is to make conversation and inroads. Talk about your aspirations and how you want to get there. Ask about how her parents got where they are and what their goals were. Ideally, the conversation is so good that everyone forgets the check altogether. Remember that people paying for your food is a hang-up you have. In the big real world out there, it's very common for other people to pick up the tab. Don't be weird about it. Story 9. I think the fact that you are asking for advice is the best part of this. It shows that you have put some thought into it and care what they think about you and what your girlfriend thinks about you. So I would say be yourself, be calm and assertive. After all that useless information I gave you, I would offer to pay at least for yourself and your girlfriend. Story 10. Top comment has the right answer. I used to literally get into a tug of war with my parents-in-law when the check came. They would all order one thing, one drink, and I'd want more, which I felt awkward about when my food is nearly double theirs. Sometimes I just say I got the next one. Other times I offer to split. My favorite is pretending to go to the bathroom and finding a waiter or hostess and slipping them my card, politely asking if they will charge our table to the card. Then I order what I want without regrets. The stunned look on their faces is also a bonus. I tell them to get us next time and we leave it at that. Story 11. A weird thing about not letting people buy me food because I was taught growing up that it was rude. This is the problem here. It's not rude to let someone pay for your food. It's rude to never reciprocate or at least offer. And that dynamic can change based on age and ability to pay. When can we talk about why you're going to a buffet during a pandemic? Story 12. The gesture of offering to pay is generally worth more than the dollars. Politely offer to pay, and if refused, graciously accept. Unless your girlfriend's last name is Rockefeller, probably not a great idea to order the dry-aged Wagyu surf and turf with a round of Pappy Van Winkle for the table. For example, stay away from the most expensive choices on the menu. Story 13. It depends on the parents. Some parents will want to pay. Let them, they are being nice. Some parents have less money or might appreciate the gesture of you paying. Do it, you could get some serious points. A compromise is to pay for you and your girlfriend. To find which one is the right choice, ask your girlfriend how her parents might want to handle the situation. She knows them better than you. If she won't give you a straight answer, ask her dad that evening how they would like to handle the bill. It gives them some power over the situation while also letting them see you are willing to help. Plus, asking a question like that shows some maturity, and it gives you and the family a topic to discuss. Story 14. When I'm out to dinner and a friend offers to pay for the check, I immediately reach for my wallet because inside is a note that says, "Say thanks. Mitch Hedberg." Story 15. I don't want to disrespect your family, but as a matter of standard etiquette, you were taught wrong. If you're invited out to dinner, it's the hosts who are assumed to take on the cost of the meal. While it's charming if you offer to pay, it's not proper to put up too much of a fight when they insist. As an alternative, you can offer to leave the tip, and this will generally be agreed to. Story 16. How is Golden Corral open during a pandemic? How selfish do you have to be to not only go into a restaurant, but a buffet restaurant? What is wrong with you people? Story 17. Offer to pay for everyone if it is within your means. Why don't you let me get this? You got it the last time. If needed, say, well, I'll pick up the tab for my girlfriend and myself then. However, do not resist too hard if they insist on paying. Avoid falling back on only paying for yourself if they decline your offer to pay for both you and your girlfriend, as that may seem excessively stubborn and somewhat inappropriate. If they want to pay for everyone, let them. Then bring them a thoughtful gift such as a bottle of wine or chocolates the next time you see them. While it is understandable to feel uncomfortable allowing your peers to pay for your food, your girlfriend's parents are socially more senior to you. You should graciously let them have the pleasure of paying for you if they wish, without too much resistance. Your offer to pay and a follow-up gift if they insist will endear you to them, and your girlfriend will appreciate your thoughtfulness. Story 18. You are supposed to tip at buffets. Please tip your server. In answer to the question, it is polite to offer to pay. If they insist after you offer, they pay. If they say thank you, you pay. Story 19. Easy. Offer to pay for it and readily accept when he tells you no. Thank you is all you need to say. It's a peculiar but formal man thing if he wants it to be. He's the dad. That's his job unless he allows you to take it. It may not be the most modern or rational thing, but if your goal is harmony and manners, this is the answer. Story 20. Laughing out loud, not an answer, but when I was 17, I went out to dinner with my girlfriend and her parents. The dad offered to pay, but then he pulled me to the side and asked for payment. It was $12. I only had $5 on me, and he took it and told me to pay the rest next week. He made money. I told my girlfriend, and she went off on him, refusing to see him for 2 months. Story 21. The proper etiquette, no matter who it is you are dining with, is usually whoever invites you out pays for the meal. If you feel like a freeloader or it makes you feel less of a man, what I would do and have done in the past is invite them out to reciprocate the treat. I have in-laws who always want to pay for me, and I find it not insulting, but it does make me feel like I'm a bludger and not a proper man. I simply go with it, but then I will invite them out and make it clear it's my treat. That way, I feel good and they also can't think ill of me. Story 22. In my opinion and experience, it's always best to insist on paying. If they will not let you, at least offer to pay the tip. Bring cash and tip well. Parents often genuinely want to treat their kids and significant others, so be gracious and grateful. Thank them for the great meal, even if it was not good, and things will be cool. Story 23. What I will do from time to time is tell them I need to go to the restroom. Then while they are not looking, go pay for our meal. Then I go sit down like nothing happened. Most people's reactions are priceless. Story 24. Okay, so in this situation, twice I have offered to pay. Both times I was waved down, and I think they appreciated the offer. I guess my one worry was whether I could afford paying for 4 people as a student, so I made sure my order was cheaper. Story 25. I have always offered to pay but have been turned down most times. Once in a while, when I make it a thing about meeting for one of their birthdays or something similar, they let me treat them. Story 26. I would say it depends on your age. The higher it is, the higher their expectation from you to you and your significant other regarding the whole thing. If you work, if yes, you should at least offer to pay yours. How they are doing financially, the better their situation, the more they should be happy to offer it to you. Story 27. Come prepared to pay. You have to pay first at Golden Corral before you eat, so let them go first in line. If they say anything that is less than what your party is, for example, 2 buffets but there are 4 of you, then pay for you and your girlfriend. Story 28. I think it depends on your age. If you're young or a student or whatever, the parents probably intend to pay. If you're a working adult not struggling financially, I suggest you pay for everyone. I suppose some of it depends on cultural considerations. I know my boyfriend would absolutely assume he's paying for everyone in that situation and would feel completely uncomfortable allowing my parents to pay. An etiquette expert would probably say whoever suggested the dinner pays for the dinner, for example, if you invited them to have dinner together, you pay. But there are always some parents who would absolutely not hear of allowing anyone but them to pay. If it's either let them pay or have a tense discussion about it, just let them pay. Story 29. Are you missing the obvious here? Presumably your girlfriend knows her parents, what they expect, and how they are likely to react to an offer to pay. What does she think is the best thing to do? By default, though, offer to pay your way at least. You're going out to dinner with people you might want to get along with for some time, so the more your relationship feels like you're all adults, the better. You wouldn't expect your friends to pick up the tab, so don't let this be any different. Story 30. I think this depends on how old you are and whether or not you have a job. I would say the etiquette is different if you're 16 or 26. When my girlfriend's parents invite us to dinner, I always say that I'll grab the bill. Then the ball isn't in my court anymore. Her dad always declines and then pays. Obviously, if he didn't decline, I can and would pay. However, if you're unemployed or a kid, then no one will be expecting you to pay, as they wouldn't have invited you to dinner with the expectation of you paying, as they know you don't have the means to. Story 31. If you have the means, I would suggest offering to pay. I would guess mom and dad will say no. In that case, thank them sincerely and go about your evening. Conversely, if they pay before you can offer, then offer them some cash that will cover you and your girlfriend, or offer to treat them next time. Story 32. Offer to pay. If they say they are paying, give a quick, "Are you sure?" and then let it go. Making a big thing makes you look petty. Not offering at all is tacky. Story 33. Considering the place, they have to pay before you sit down, so either let them handle it for you or you pay for yourself and your girlfriend. I'd imagine parents would want to treat their child and their child's significant other to be nice. Story 34. It depends on how old you are. If you are a teenager or a broke student, just let them pay. If you are employed, pay for everyone. I would say just paying for your own is ruder than paying for none. Story 35. Who is making the plans? If they are saying, we would like to take you two to dinner on Saturday, then they can pay. Coordinate with your girlfriend maybe, so next time they call and say they're coming, she can say, great, we would really like to take you guys to this restaurant nearby, thereby indicating you'll be paying. You can also offer an advance by saying, I'd really love to cover mine and my girlfriend's meals. Are you able to pay for everyone? That would be your other option. Jump in first and tell your server or cashier in a buffet situation, I'll take the check, please. If they insist, then give one pass at, I'd really love to get it this time, you guys have treated us so much. And if they still insist, then relent and let them. Don't overthink it. In the end, it's definitely not rude for someone to buy you food.